Okay, so are you ready for this one? This deep dive? Well, it's one of those stories that just grabs you and it won't let
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got it's got mystery, international intrigue, questions about identity that'll make your head spin.
It really will.
Are you ready to untangle the curious case of Natalia Grace?
Absolutely, I'm ready. It seems like it's ripped from the headlines, but as we dig deeper, I think we're going to find there are layers upon layers to unpack.
Yeah, there really are. So to start, Natalia Grace, she was adopted from Ukraine.
Right.
The Barnetts, the family that brought her to the U.S., they initially believed they were welcoming a 6-year-old girl with dwarfism into their home.
Mm-hmm.
But then things took a truly bizarre turn.
Yeah, they did. And what's really compelling here is that shift in perception. The Barnetts, they began to question Natalia's age.
Yeah,
They claimed that her behaviors and even her physical development just seemed far too mature for a child.
yeah.
And they ultimately went as far as to legally change her age from 9 to 22.
Hold on, legally change her age. Is that even possible? What are like the legal and ethical implications of that?
That's where I think the rabbit hole really opens up. Legally re-aging an adopted child is incredibly complex. It often requires a court order, substantial evidence.
Right.
Ethically, it raises all kinds of questions about parental rights, a child's autonomy, and the potential for exploitation.
Yeah,
And in this case, the Barnetts, they argued they were victims of deception.
right.
But, the court public opinion was very much divided.
It's almost too much to process. And then after the Barnetts moved to Canada, they left Natalia behind in an apartment.
Right.
Another family enters the picture, the Manses.
Yes.
He took Natalia in and initially seemed like her saviors.
They did seem that way, but that narrative quickly fractured as well.
Okay.
Natalia later accused the Manses of financial exploitation, claiming that they used her disability benefits for their own gain.
Oh, wow.
She also alleged that they left her with a hefty tax burden and that they even subjected her to physical and emotional abuse.
So on one hand, we have the Barnetts claiming Natalia is this manipulative adult.
Right.
And on the other hand, we have Natalia accusing the Manses of mistreatment. It's like everyone involved has a different version of reality, so how do we even begin to make sense of this?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The case had attracted the attention of individuals like Nicole DePaul,
Okay.
and she used the hidden cameras to document Natalia's life with the Manses.
Wow.
And while this footage sparked further debate about the family's treatment of Natalia, it also added another layer of complexity to an already tangled story.
Yeah, and then there's the question of Natalia's age, which remains a point of contention to this day.
It does.
She maintains that she's in her early 20s, while the Barnetts insist that she's much older. So is it even possible for someone to successfully misrepresent their age for so long?
It's certainly unusual, and the lack of clear medical documentation has fueled speculation.
Right.
We have to consider the possibility of a misdiagnosis or perhaps a rare condition affecting her growth and development.
Yeah?
It's a puzzle with pieces that don't quite fit.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. So right now, Natalia lives with the DePauls,
She does.
and she says she feels free for the first time.
That's right.
She's pursuing her education and just seems determined to move forward.
It's a testament to her resilience, but this case is far from closed.
Right.
There are ongoing legal battles, and public fascination hasn't waned.
Of course not.
Natalia's story forces us to ask some difficult questions about adoption, disability, and how we as a society deal with accusations in these conflicting narratives.
It's a story that stays with you. You start out wondering, is she a victim or a villain?
Yeah,
But ultimately, it becomes about something much better.
absolutely.
It's about trying to understand the human experience in all its complexity.
Exactly. There's no simple answer, no tiny resolution.
Nope.
It's a story that challenges us to look beyond the surface and grapple with the gray areas, to consider the possibility that, everyone involved might be holding on to their own version of the truth.
So what does all of this mean for you? I think it's a reminder that sometimes the most captivating stories don't have easy answers.
Yeah,
It's about acknowledging the nuances, the unknowns, and the fact that human behavior can be both fascinating and incredibly difficult to decipher.
perhaps the most important takeaway is the reminder to approach complex situations with a healthy dose of skepticism, empathy, and a willingness to listen to multiple perspectives.
Right.
Because sometimes the most compelling truth lies somewhere in the spaces between the stories we're told.
On that note, that wraps up our deep dive on Natalia Grace.
It does.
Until next time, thanks for listening.
Thanks. Bye.